I'm Paul from Greensky Bluegrass, and you're watching Hype.com.
Cool. So what do you think of Railroad Earth and this festival?
I love Railroad Earth, and we've been playing with them for years and years. Tim produced 2 of our records in that cabin we were talking about earlier. I think this festival is awesome. I love North Carolina. It's beautiful here, and it's going to be a great weekend here. I'm jealous I can't stay the whole time. Yes, we are. We're planning to go into the studio sometime this winter, record another record, and so we're just developing a lot of songs right now.
You mentioned that you've maybe gone into some like secluded places to record albums. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, the first, I guess the first 2 studio albums we did, first 3 actually. We went to a friend's cabin up in Hoxeyville, Michigan, sort of back in the woods, and we brought all the recording gear there and did sort of like a retreat version of recording, and recorded a lot per day, like up to 18 hours. And then just the last record we did, we actually went into a studio, and I like doing the cabin in the woods vibe, and I was nervous that the studio would, leaving every day to go stay somewhere else might sort of change the mood of the record or something, but it ended up being really awesome because we had access to a lot of stuff that we'd never had before, and when something would come up, the engineer would be like, well, why don't we try this? And then he'd go dig in a drawer and get something else out, and had we planned everything ahead of time, like you have to go to a cabin, we wouldn't have had all those options.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think the kind of atmosphere of being in the cabin really helped develop the sound of the album?
I think so, especially Tuesday Letter, the second album we did. That one in particular has a real cool sonic feel. We all recorded in the same room for that album, and so that you can really like hear the sound of the band on the record in a different way than you can on the other ones. So it's been one of my favorites.
Cool. Any special guests on the new album by any chance?
On the upcoming?
Yeah.
No, I don't know yet.
Okay.
All the songs aren't even done yet, so.
Actually, the question I've been wanting to ask most is just, have you had any cool jam sessions lately that you might want to tell us about?
Yeah, at Northwest String Summit, I played with a friend, Pete Carsunis, and a couple of guys from Fruition and Scott Law. And that was super fun. We did like a late night, like 3 to 5 a.m. pick on a stage, and I was sort of dreading it going into it because I was like, it's gonna be so late, but it ended up being a ton of fun.
Cool. And then talking about tour, you guys are headed off to Kinfolk tomorrow. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yep, Kinfolk's on the Planet Bluegrass site in Lyons, and it's Yonder's event, so we're really in the best of both worlds this weekend with the Big Brother bands here with Railroad Earth and then over there to Yonder. I wish we could stay at both places longer. Maybe next year they'll do on different weekends. So.
Do you think Greensky will at some point have 3 festivals like Yonder does?
I don't know. Sounds like a lot of work. We are doing a show next week in Charleston that's sort of community funded, and I know they do a 50-50 raffle all summer long and then donate the money to different homeless charities in town. That one's a little closer, so I've got the information filed in,
Are there any shows of late that stick out to you that are really great shows?
I think again that Northwest String Summit show that we did 2 weeks ago is pretty recent, so it's fresh in my mind. That place is awesome, and that company up there in the Northwest with Yonder and all their fans as well. Some of the rowdiest shows we've played in the last 2 years are those 2. Last weekend we were at our home festival in Michigan, Hoxeyville, and we had a friend play saxophone for the whole second set. That was pretty cool. Never just thrown a guest up for a whole set before, and it went really well. The next day everyone was like, who is that guy? Because he was a mystery guest from Colorado.
That's awesome.
Could you tell us who that guy was?
Bob Heminger, yeah. Awesome. He is a Michigan native who lives in Colorado, and that's how we know him, and just happened to be like 20 miles away for his parents' 50th wedding anniversary or something, so we brought him in, and it was cool because no one knows who he is. And the festival we were at we played at 9 of the last 10. We played all of them, basically. The first one was kind of a party. And we know all the bands there, so we've had a slew of guests from all the other bands because they're all our friends. And this time we had the outside mystery guy that no one knew who he was. It was really cool.
What direction do you think music is headed in today?
What direction do I think it's headed? I think music's in a good place. I don't know that I ever would have said it wasn't, because I like all music. but something I've noticed a lot lately is that a lot of stuff that I think is really great is becoming really popular, and I think that's really encouraging. People are listening to music a little more intellectually or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan of mindless pop music too, like Katy Perry or anything from the 80s I love. So I think there's a place for all of it. But what I've noticed is people who have a lot of integrity and haven't been around that long and might seem a little nichier are actually getting really popular, and that's just pretty darn cool.
Do you think festivals are helping that come about?
Yeah, I think festivals are helping it, and honestly, you know, being in the home of these guys, I think the Ava Brothers have a lot to do with it for the acoustic scene. For whatever reason, because they're great and handsome, or for all the reasons, they went farther than anyone like them has before, and it's sort of opened the floodgate for like everybody else, which is one of the great things about music. It's not like the Highlander. There can be more than one, and people who like music have an appetite for more music. So once they discover something new they like the Ava Brothers that they've never heard anything like, then they're behind the door is so much more new for them, which is really exciting.